Hi everyone. So at the end of the last video, I had this patch. Shows me steps in a sequencer, whether to play the note or not, um, and setting pitch, sending that out. I can also change the number of steps in the counter and store that information in a preset. Still not a really complete note sequencer, so I thought I would add a third part to the patch that added velocity, and then I'm going to briefly introduce presentation mode, but I'm probably going to go back and make another video entirely about that. So we're going to unlock the patch, our sequencer, and I'm going to save it as a new patch, which I'll make a part 3 now. And I'm going to add velocity control. Now here's the thing and a tip. I've got 2 ways to go about this. And I think what I'll do, just to sort of encourage you that this is okay, is to look and say, I cloned a step, I made a step, made it the way I want it, then I cloned it. Sometimes the easiest way to add, if we're going to make 8 clones of something, is to go ahead and just get rid of the steps, get all the objects there, and go back to step 1 and make it what you want, and then recopy the additional steps. Now I have broken something in that I had pitch patterns stored. The objects that they were attached to have gone away, so even if I add them back in now, they're gone. So it's kind of thinking about, what do you really want to do? These weren't like groundbreaking sequences, so I'm okay with this. But if you want to decide, the other way to go is saying, I've already got pitches, then just add in velocity, add it in to the preset, and you can add it, replace the preset with the pitches and the velocity. So I'm doing this a different way because I kind of want to encourage you. Sometimes it just makes sense to destroy something, go back to the beginning. Always do a save as though, so that when you go back, there's something still there. I can't break this patching completely because it's a new file now. So I want to add velocity. There's a couple things I need to do. What I have to do, for starters, is I need to add a slider to actually store velocity for each step. So I can type the S key, that gives me a slider. I'm going to make it a little shorter. I'm going to put it up here with my pitch, make it just a little shorter, kind of thick so we can see it, kind of like the dial, keeping it kind of in contact with that, or sized with that. And so that's going to give me a velocity. I could use a number to see exactly, but kind of, if 127 is the top and 0 is the bottom, I can kind of visualize this. Then I have to send both note number and velocity to make note. If I send a list, note velocity to make note, it can go into the left inlet. So I can send, that's one of the things that make note will do. It expects pitch, but if it gets a list, and I can go over here to its reference, select make note, go to its reference, and messages, if it's a list, set all MIDI note information. And that's what I'm going to do. So pitch comes out at the gate, and both are going to go into a pack object. Remember, pack takes individual items and puts them together as a list and outputs the list. So velocity will come in the right, be the second element. Pitch from the gate, when it's banged, is going to go on the left, and that's going to output the list. And that's fine. I can use the same send and receive. If I lock the patch, I can play a note. Now, one thing, I'll go back. I should have added this because I changed the patch, the program out, and we keep talking about that and adding it. And I should just always have it. So I'm going to have an integer and program out, and 81 is a sawtooth synth. So I'm up here in the synth range of general MIDI. Okay, but so it works. Set it up, set it down. Okay, so that's going to give me pitch, note on, pitch, velocity. And I can put it, let's put it in a slightly different place. Let's just kind of fit it in here. So I kind of keep my verticality. And now I need to make copies. It looks like I just did not make these in a line at all. There we go. All right, so now I have the 8 steps again. Hook up, bang, too far, bang, too far. I also need to reattach now toggle, dial, and velocity. So as I did this before, I'm clicking, my patch cord comes out, I'm going to hold down the shift key. I'm going to do this in order so I keep track of things, like the toggles first, the dials next, and the slider. And make sure you get the left inlet every time. You don't have to be right on the inlet, but it has to magnify to show you the connection. And get rid of that. Now I can do my option drag again, cross patch cords, and a shift command Y to align them. Max is thinking. Okay. So now I do have to turn on velocities. I can go back and set some things. So I have to play around now to get a new sequence. So I can make something I had. Let's do, hold down the shift key to fine tune, G1. F1. A sharp 1, D sharp 2, let's go for an F2, D sharp 2, overshooting things, and D2. Too far. Okay, and then I can set velocities. And so let's maybe do this. And using my baseline, and I can play. We have a little German techno going, and I will now do a shift click and replace my first memory. So I've got that. Then I'm going to shorten to 4 steps. I'm going to come down. That's kind of nice. Store that as 2. And now I've got a full sequencer. So actually, I'm going to stop this video and do the presentation video separate. It's about 9 minutes, but I just added. So each one, added the slider, went into a pack. So note, velocity, that goes to step note as a list, goes to make note, plays the note. And I've got a fully functioning 8-step sequencer that I can do. So stop that and save it, and that's good for this one.